Don't think this is just another self-help podcast. It's not.
Well, what is it?
It's still a hot mess, where we ask the question, is self-help helping?
Every episode, we discuss, debate, and sometimes diss an aspect of the self-improvement movement.
We want to know, is it all too much? Has it gone too far? Is it making us even more neurotic? Is this self-help or self-help?
You make a mess of me.
Susan, I just want to thank you for doing the podcast with me today.
Oh, Fanson. Well, thank you for thanking me.
Well, thank you for thanking me.
Oh, well, we could just do this all day long.
We could.
But you know, I think it's nice that you thanked me.
It definitely makes me feel good.
Did that make, yeah. And I felt great for thanking you.
Wow. Well, thank you for feeling great.
It always helps, doesn't it? As we are here at the Pod Plant once again together discussing the very popular self-help, self-improvement topic of
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
But gratitude is actually like a deeply felt thankfulness.
Yeah, it's a great way to describe it. Yeah, I think it is. It's a state. I think it's a state of mind.
It's funny because when I first started experiencing or seeing gratitude expressed publicly about 8 years ago, I was like, what is going on? Like, why? It felt very false.
Are you talking about like the images on social media with the rainbows and the mountains
I like
and the
rainbows
rivers
and mountains,
you know,
and rivers.
the pastoral settings,
Yeah.
and then just a lot about gratitude.
Well, I don't know if the like memes,
Yeah.
those feel like memes. I don't know if they'd come around yet, but it was like all of a sudden people, it was Facebook back then. Remember that? And people were like, I just want to say I'm so grateful for blah, blah, blah. And so gratitude had always been something that I felt like very quietly. Like it was something I felt that I experienced. It was like very warm and comforting and probably, you know, filled me with some sense of joy, not like, you know, dance it out kind of joy, but like really centered joy.
Maybe like contentment is a good word.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe sometimes. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess it depended on the nature of the gratitude I was feeling. But I remember I was like a little bit offended. I was like, wait a second. You're not supposed to just go around spewing about gratitude. You're supposed to just be feeling it quietly.
Oh, do you think people were starting to show off?
I think there was a message out there. I don't know where it started.
Well, God knows, Fanson, you know, we talked about this in the meditation episode, you know, the meditation shaming.
Right.
Now I feel like there's almost like gratitude shaming.
Yeah.
Like if you don't express it in some way, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or, you know, in a journal or something, you're just falling short.
Have people said to you like, hey, where's your gratitude? I don't hear that.
No, I don't think there's like that kind of shaming. I just think maybe it's even subconscious. We subconsciously feel shame for not expressing it when we see it expressed by others.
And
I don't know.
That's part of the thing that irked me. And I mean, I would say after 8 years of now gratitude being the mainstream and the, you know, this idea that if you're not practicing gratitude, you're probably lacking in joy in your life. You're lacking some joy in your life. Like that the gratitude is necessary. It was never spoken about in that way. And I think that you mentioned to me once that it was Miss Oprah who sort of brought that movement in.
Yeah, I think she was one of the, main thought leaders, about a decade ago, who really offered it up as a very deliberate, very conscious habit.
Yeah.
Like get out your journal, make your list.
It's funny how that really peeved me.
Well, I know, but I mean, but I get it. Like,
Who are you to tell me how to be grateful?
But like,
is what I thought.
counting one's blessings, right? I mean, that's an age-old concept. But for, past decade, you know, the goal is now to set aside. You have to set aside time to express
You have to practice it.
It's a daily practice.
You have to express it.
And so what Oprah was suggesting is that if you want to live your best life, you best make your list, right? Of 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. Every morning or when you go to bed. Of course, this is right before or after we like stretch, meditate.
The list of all the things we do to live our best lives.
Say our affirmations.
But you know what's funny about that is like the act of doing it, right? Like that, Does gratitude exist without the sharing or without the expressing of it? And of course it does. But, when you hear that the practice of gratitude in your daily life, as you're talking about, and all these other things we have to practice, but the practice of gratitude in your daily life is what actually brings the joy.
Yeah, they do say that. I mean, that is what positive psychology, what science is now suggesting, that the more you do it.
But is it in the self-help world like everything else? In all of those like self-help books, you can't just think about it. You have to actually do something about it.
I don't know. That might be a misconception. In my research, I did come upon the suggestion that if you actually just set aside some time to mindfully, there's that word again, favorite, mindfully take stock of what you've got. You could write it down. You could, make some gratitude jar, where you write it on a little piece of paper and put it in the jar. Or you could just, I don't know.
That has to replace my swear jar? Does anyone have a swear jar anymore?
I know. Well, I should have one. Definitely.
You just should
I know
yourself.
I shoulded myself, but
you should have a should jar.
I should.
You should.
So yeah, I get your point, but I think when you clear away all the clutter, science is saying you can actually just kind of have this maybe very deliberate few moments of deep appreciation, and that will suffice, Vanson. It will.
And people, I guess, are having to learn how to be grateful. Is that what's happening? Like, let me just extend this thought for 1 second. Is it that we had to be told to practice it because we weren't learning that it was necessary? And wasn't there a time when we taught our kids to say please and thank you and to say grace? And like, did we fall out of gratitude? And now we're like, hey guys, let's get back in there. Or is this like above and beyond?
I think this is bigger. I mean, I think there's manners. I think there's expressing gratitude for, I don't know, the meal or something like that.
Yeah, but even like a prayer isn't manners. It's a way of saying thank you, I am grateful for, or, extending your good thoughts and feelings out into the world.
Yeah.
So I think that prayer could be described as a huge source of gratitude, expression of gratitude. Not just like, hey, God, can you do me a favor? It's like, an extension of self, like the things you're grateful for and wish them out unto others kind of thing. So I'm just wondering, like in this age of all of these self-help books and gratitude being such a hot topic, have we forgotten? Or did we just never really get it?
We probably never really did understand how powerful it would be to be what again, I'll repeat myself a bit, but be a little bit more deliberate about it, being some sort of daily practice or at least a very regular practice in our lives where we really stop and just, take stock.
Did you ever pray?
I have prayed before in my life. I've also, expressed gratitude to whatever, the universe, whatever you want to call it, God, as a way of manifesting.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the techniques for manifesting is actually being grateful for the things you're going to receive.
Manifesting means I want to get these things.
But I'm saying I am so grateful for, say, the opportunities that are coming my way. I am so grateful for the opportunities to fulfill my purpose.
Manipulative to the great creator. Hey, great creator, I'm just really grateful for when I have my yacht. So great.
I think it comes from the power of intention where you act as if. And so if you can actually enter into a state of gratitude that it is coming, who knows when and how and where, the shape or form it'll take, but you're in deep gratitude for the abundance that is coming. It's almost like a trusting in life.
It still rings to me that it's like, here's a way that I can get what I want. And when I was growing up, I mean, I didn't have a religious family, but my mom did, sort of bestow. I just realized my workout bra has the padding is off.
You went under the shirt, and I wasn't
really
too sure where the show was going, but
it's like, okay, I fixed it.
All right.
But like my mom did have us pray at night, and that was time out to sit. And I wasn't praying to get stuff. What I was taught or what I understood about prayer was to be grateful for the things around me and for people and to wish well unto others.
Yes.
Like, so that to me was like sort of, it brought a sense of gratitude, you know, into my life that I didn't have to focus on. It's just what I did. It was just the way it was. So I think what I'm saying is there's a difference to me between, hey, God, thanks for the thing that I see that I have. I'm really grateful for it because God, I really want it. Or just thank you, God, like for my daily bread, for my, and I'm not religious. Okay. So, but that there is a foundation of that in my childhood, that was consistent. And that's why I just keep wondering, like, you know, I'm sure there are many different conversations to be had about gratitude and the need in our, let's say, society, maybe first world, you know, for those who are religious, those who aren't, in changing times where science is more, you know, let's say something to believe in than even your God. I don't know. Like, I'm sort of riding a line here that I kind of want to pull back from now, just because I can't follow through on it. But my point is that there was a focus on gratitude. It came as prayer, and there was an appreciation for the food on the table. And I just wonder, are we, or have we done that for our kids? And are some people the result of kids who never had that? Like, are we having to be told, hey, you got to remember to say thank you, because it means you actually understand that you're not entitled to this stuff?
I think it's really, it's come from, I think, wanting to heal or solve the mental illness crisis that we're dealing with. Quite frankly, I think, you know, society has been suffering at such an extreme level now for the last several years, depression and anxiety, and of course, many other forms of mental illness. And I think the self-help, self-improvement world said, okay, guys, we have an idea here, a focus on the lack, you know, this feeling like we don't have enough, the story that we're telling ourselves that we're not enough, we're not doing enough, of course, we don't possess enough, might be actually raising stress hormones and affecting our mental health. So I do wonder, you know, your question right now is, why are we being told so much to practice gratitude or enter into that state so much?
It seems like we didn't know we had to do it.
I think it's also like we're crying for help, and I think some you know, researchers and self-help authors are saying, well, do you take, you know, do you have a practice of recognizing the goodness in your life?
Is this the other side of the coin of comparison syndrome in an internet world where we can see the haves and what we have not? Is this the counter action to feeling like we don't have enough? I don't have enough because look at what so-and-so has. But if I am grateful for what I do have, it'll take my mind off that for a while.
I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think gratitude is a very powerful practice in the age of social media, because we can very, very easily, I mean, real quickly, we can get into a story of not being enough or not being popular enough or having, you know, the fancy things that our friends do or taking the trips that our friends are doing. And so to recognize what we have is the antidote.
I mean, the internet didn't create that. I'm just saying that it definitely has inflated it.
Oh, sure.
Like,
I mean, hey, weren't those the good old days, Fanson, back, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, when you just didn't know what everybody had or what they were up to or what they were doing?
Man, ignorance is bliss, but do you want to live that way?
Sure. I mean, I don't think it's possible.
No,
right
I hear you.
now.
It was like it wasn't in your face all the time.
Exactly. And so I think the link between mental illness and comparison, it is there. And I think self-help is saying, okay, here's just this is a powerful way to ground yourself and get out of that toxic story.
Our little brains can only handle so much.
You got it.
And it's abusive. It is abuse. Right? Like what we are inundated with in terms of, here, you need this to have a good life. Buy this, wear that. I mean, maybe there was a time where all you could really covet is your neighbor's wife or your neighbor's car, but now it's like, it's everything. Everything's in your face.
Yeah. So I think comparison due to the internet, social media, but I think it also has to be practiced because of what we learned in our Science of Well-Being course at Yale.
Remember, we did that?
A little something called hedonic adaptation,
That's right.
Which is simply our habit of getting used to things, right? Our shock and awe about stuff isn't sustained. So this also means that we get used to, the bad things that happen to us, by the way. That's interesting, hey? We also get used to the bad things.
Yeah.
Those who have been disabled have a remarkable ability to rebound. Initially, they may feel terrible, of course, but after months or years, they are often, on average, just as happy as everyone else.
See, this is a good thing.
Oh, I think it's very,
It's a
very,
very,
very cool
good
thing
thing.
when it comes to life-altering things that are deemed negative.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting that we also get very, very used to the big job, the big income,
It's
the
why
lovely
that
house.
first bite of cake is all you need.
Yeah.
That's it. Have that bite. That's it. Ain't getting better from there. It really isn't. It's never going to taste better. You're not going to enjoy it more by the time you're done. You might want more because you want to just keep experiencing the cake.
Yeah.
But honestly, the first bite, that's it.
I know. So, I mean,
That's all
okay.
you
So
need.
I
But would you say then that generations before have dealt with less stress and self-doubt and worry and lack as we seem to be now then?
Well, I mean, I think stress, the definition of it has evolved, right? Back in our caveman and cavewoman beginnings.
Or like Game of Thrones, like at that time in history when
Right.
I just talked about Game of Thrones like it was real. Like it was actually that's in our history.
It reflects
Like you remember the Starks, right? I just thought of that.
Do you know what you're getting at, though? That
Yeah.
their stress was linked to survival,
Yeah.
right? It was life-threatening situations. Now, of course, it's because of all these hindrances of our mind, like you just said, worry, rumination, catastrophizing, a focus on lack, all that kind of thing. Storytelling, right? That I don't have enough and I'm not doing enough.
Yep.
So do we... What was your question? Do we have more stress now?
Is it worse now? Do you think it's worse now than generations before? Are we dealing with more stress? Like I'm thinking, God, man, wars and
Yep.
and atrocities and like we didn't even have. Have you seen the new Corvette? Oh my God, that thing makes me cry. It's so beautiful. Like, what did we do before that?
Okay, so I'll be quite honest. I do think we've become very precious and delicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we can get stressed out by the littlest things. I don't think we are perhaps the most resilient
We're down to the minutia now.
generation.
Yeah, it's just like every little thing, every little offense, which, it's all leading to change. And this is where we're supposed to be. So it's fine. It's just how are we dealing with it?
In a way, we've got it so goddamn good.
And so goddamn bad at the same time.
But we do, I think we do. We carry around a sense of entitlement.
It's all relative.
Yeah. And so...
Well, the entitlement we have some control over. Raise your friggin' kids right. Have them appreciate and be thankful. Let's just start there. Give them a leg up in life. Give them the benefit of being grateful for what you do, for what they have, and for what others, and wanting well for others. Like, you don't have to make them feel bad not finishing their plate because people are starving in Africa. They don't get that.
No.
But just to appreciate what they have, like simply. Can't we? That's not a difficult thing to do, is it?
Well, no, I think involving children in, housework and things like that,
And
make them
the
understand
reason why they're doing it, and that it's not that they're going to get a reward for it, that the doing it is the reward. They are the future.
Yeah, I think
Teach them well and let them lead the way.
No, but that's true. I mean, children who don't have to lift a finger and don't have boundaries and all that kind of thing, yeah, they grow up to have an incredible sense of entitlement.
And don't we appreciate more once we've earned it, or if we've earned it? Is that a thing where if you've worked for it, there's more meaning behind it than just here you go? And then if you're just handing things to your kids or anybody, but let's pick on parents for a minute. If you're just handing things and not not encouraging, at the very least, a thank you, a real, it doesn't have to be, oh, mommy, this is so what, just thank you, and mean it and move on, man. But you're giving them a gift of life to do that.
So to your point, I think gratitude is a learned behavior that can happen in our childhood.
For sure. 100%. You are completely right.
But I also think in these, maybe not before the pandemic, but, before the pandemic, life is busy, age of distraction. Everybody's getting stressed out about the littlest thing. I think self-improvement, movement said, okay, guys, here's a way to slow down and focus on the positives. I really do think. I think this is just coming from people just whirling around mindlessly.
We got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
If you are what you think, then you got to put some positive thoughts in there and grateful thoughts, I guess.
You've made the point before on this show, and it's a good one, that every time we pick up a self-help book, we are parenting ourselves.
Reparenting, because, we all need a little of the stuff we didn't get. You can't get everything. Parents can't do everything for you.
Yeah. And
it's responsibility.
And so,
yours.
I think it is important to do some research, read about the role of gratitude when it comes to our happiness and well-being, because it's like, oh my God, it's incredibly important.
If your family, parents, home situation as a child, if you didn't have a sense of thankfulness and gratitude, if that wasn't there, it's going to be a bit of an effort to engage in that now. But, let's say that we've all just taken some things for granted. And isn't it nice to take things for granted? It's far less work.
I mean, wow, what a beautiful thing to be able to do.
Yeah, just oh yeah, that's cool. Whatever. It's great.
You've just got so much.
Yeah.
That some things don't even catch your eye. Well, as stated on happierhuman.com, it is a psychological imperative to fight hedonic adaptation, right? Getting used to having all the cool stuff. If we want to maximize our happiness, gratitude is one of the most powerful tools in our arsenal because it helps remind us of the good things that are already in our lives.
If we're trapped by the idea in some way that we deserve things, then something's broken.
I mean, isn't that entitlement?
It is. But it's just another way of saying it,
Yeah, no.
If part of the message, the self-help message is you deserve a great life, or you deserve whatever it is, okay? Because I hear that word a lot in that world. It's counterintuitive. If you deserve it, then you feel entitled to it. Have you earned it? And if you're not doing the work, it's just not going to work, and then you're going to be perpetually chasing the dragon, or however you want to put it.
Well, the concept of deserving something comes from our ego.
Yeah.
I mean, I
just don't like it. I just don't agree with it. But I feel like that message is there. You deserve something.
Sure.
And I'm like, since when? Who says?
One of the most, I think, common adages is you deserve happiness.
Right.
No,
you don't.
No,
it's not just a written rule.
No, you gotta work.
You gotta work.
Girl. You better work. No, it is. It's a result. It's a byproduct of your habits, your mindset, your choices, what you decide to do with your time each and every day.
Pull your hair out all you want, but it's true. It is true. It's maddening when you think about all the things you have to do, really do, just to achieve these lofty goals of intellectualizing past your stupid human instincts.
But that's the thing. And we must also keep in mind that our brains are wired to focus on lack.
Yeah.
This is why we have to work on it. What we always want and what we, what we're always striving for, what we want to do, that's been a part of our evolution.
Yeah. I mean, and what a great thing to know that, to just go, okay, it's not like I'm bad, stupid, or wrong. It's just my human brain. So now all I have to do is choose this thing, this positive thought, this other way of being. That's it. It's not go down the rabbit hole of your shit. It's just you're human. Congratulations.
Yep.
And yes, there's a step that we all need to take if we don't want to stay in base instincts.
Yeah. I mean, we're always reaching for that thing that we, have never done or never had, because that is basically how our standard of living has steadily increased since those caveman and cavewoman
Hey
beginnings.
man, I don't know what I want if I don't think about what I don't have.
Yeah, exactly. So we're wired this way.
Conundrum.
You know, we get a job, then we want the promotion,
Right.
right? We hit a target for the year. People do this for a living,
Do
right?
they?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they reach for, you know, a higher number for the next year. We run 5K and then, right, we start working on the 10K.
Yep.
Like once
And
we,
then sometimes around 7, you go, you know what? That's good enough.
I have never run more than 10K. There I was satisfied. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, now my knees really hurt. And I think I better.
But you chose self-care there.
There we go. But yeah, it's just important to remember that like once we cross the finish line, whether it's, you know, literal or figurative, we immediately raise the bar higher or come up with an entirely new goal to replace the one we just achieved. Okay. So that is hedonic adaptation to some degree. It's
Yes.
like, because back in the day, that's how we survived. That like, you know, that's why we like have the forks and the spoons.
Yeah.
That's why we
Not
have
just a rock in our hands. We're not eating tuna out of a can with our hands. Well, how would we have a can? I mean, it's a rabbit hole for sure.
somebody
Look at all these great inventions.
back in the day just grabbed the tuna and then
Yeah.
it came in a can.
And then magically, just magically, because they manifested it. They manifested a can.
Right?
Bam.
But really, we've gone from hunting wild animals to being able to order groceries online.
was
And
like-
that is
just
because
like
of
that.
our wiring. So it messes with our sense of gratitude, but it's also been very purposeful for our evolution. So just to make sure we're not,
facto ergo.
just so you know, we're not gratitude shaming here today at the Pod Plant.
Oh no, we are not.
It's important to understand why it requires effort.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
It isn't, it just isn't a natural state of mind for us, really, is it?
It's not. It's not. I mean, it can become a natural state of mind if you practice it. It actually can, but it's not. It's not our basic human instinct to just be in that. Well, okay, hold on. I do want to say this though. It's all not negative. It's what? It's not all negative Nelly up there all the time. And that's what it is to be human. It's just that it is human to find the flaws, look at the problems, try to solve this. Is this danger, fight or flight? That is all in our nature. And there is also positive thinking as well. We're just kind of saying, look, the negative stuff, it doesn't make you bad or wrong. It just makes you human. And you have to do a little something if you want to feel better, get out of suffering, perhaps suffering being that the negative thoughts, if they go on too long, might make you feel bad. Hey, do you want to feel bad? No, I don't. Okay, then think about something that you like, something that's come into your life that you're grateful for, and you'll turn that thought upside down.
Yeah.
And the frown.
So we'll say it one more time here for our listeners. Our brains are predisposed. They are wired for negativity. It's what helped us to survive at the very beginning. And so our brain is naturally going to focus on lack sometimes, or it's going to drift into the past or into the future. So we have to mindfully be, in the present moment. We're basically always managing the
Noise.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's that? I couldn't hear you.
I don't know. I don't know if you call it the flaws of the brain, but it's just like the natural
it is
tendencies
the
of
brain.
Yeah, the natural tendencies of the brain.
I mean, we can't start talking about the human brain like it was made flawed. The human brain is the human brain.
Yeah.
We're just intellectualizing around it. We're just going, okay, hold on a sec. If the male of the species hunted and raped, its partners, as some do.
Oh, this has gotten dark.
Sorry, guys. Hold on. But I mean, then you can't say, well, that's just what we do. It's like, no, we don't, guys. Right?
Let's
that's
self-correct.
something we want to turn around. But yeah, that was dark.
But so we're still a hot mess. We're always going to have these brains that go, a little wonky on us. We're going to think we don't have enough, or we're, going to drift into the past or the future. And then, oh, fuck, we're not in the present moment. Damn it, I hate myself. No, but so we're still a hot mess.
Yeah.
Because we have these brains.
I'll tell
It's
you
fine.
right now, when my partner thanks me for the little things.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just feel so loved. It's so easy. He just, thanks. Gives me a kiss and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
everything is awesome. And that's just like an acknowledgement of a little thing I did. So a little gratitude does go a long way.
Well,
in all aspects of life.
Again, on happierhuman.com, I read an article that revealed that there are 31 benefits of gratitude.
Let's hear them. We don't have time.
No, but as you talked about your partner,
Yeah.
Relationships is actually one of the things in your life that is enhanced because of gratitude.
Right.
So there were categories of benefits, which were emotional, social, career, health, and personality.
All the big ones.
And each category contained 5 benefits.
Break it down.
Right? It's amazing. So we're going to include the link in our show description on iTunes of this article because it is pretty mind-blowing. But, there's been so much talk about how it, enhances your well-being, your happiness. But as I learned from this article, it basically improves every aspect of your life.
Right. Makes you feel good, and feeling good makes you behave better.
Well, yeah, they say you've got more
around
friends.
your partner and your work colleagues.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just keep it going. This article just points out how it just basically makes everything better.
How much
Amazing.
do you love your dog? You know what I mean? Your dog is just always appreciative.
Yeah, the dog is always so excited.
Just always, just hey, thanks. Oh, where's the food? Thanks. I'm so glad you're home. It's all gratitude. Your dog is all mouth and all gratitude. That's all a dog is a mouth and some gratitude. Where cat's whatever. And you're really? But I guess people love their cats. I don't know. I just went on a little animal tangent.
No, actually, my mother years ago, when I would suffer, oh my God, I'd be so stressed out, depressed, anxious, whatever. She used to say, Susan, just watch the animal kingdom for a little bit. Hey,
well, they don't
just look out there.
They don't have empathy.
Well, no, they don't. I mean, they don't have a lot of emotional capacity that the
They're
human.
not how does the other guy feel? They're this is happening.
But you just. When you look out, I don't know, the little birds flitting around or the woodland creatures.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
We're having what's that called? A heritage moment?
You're just not overthinking things.
What's really funny is that you and I are just smiling so gleefully at the thought of nature. And really, we've been talking about gratitude now for about half an hour. And it's no wonder that we go to nature anyway, that we start to think about that because it's hard to separate gratitude, human gratitude, from what is the abundance of nature and what it provides for us on this earth. And I know that sounds woo, but it's not. It's everything.
Yep. Yes.
Full stop.
I don't know. You just got me there.
Let's just listen to the birds for a minute. How many times when there's a rainbow, just people post that damn rainbow? I know on your birthday.
I got a double rainbow.
Yeah.
On my birthday.
You did.
Yeah,
and
you know what?
And I'm grateful for it.
Yep. I took a damn photo and put it on
Facebook.
Social media.
You did.
Fuck it. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta be happy for the little things.
But I gotta say, you weren't the only one.
Yeah.
And I think that, there's something to be said about when people, years later, after I first was please stop with this public gratitude BS. But now it's you know what? It is really a way of going, this was beautiful. You should see it too.
Yeah. You want to share that little moment that you had that you savored and you wanted, you want to share it with others.
And all I thought was, I didn't see the damn rainbow.
Oh, and
I was in the car at the time. I never saw it. And
you compared yourself.
I compared it. And then I was well, okay, fine. Glad you had a good birthday.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, I'm going to go all self-helpy here for a second and mention one of the, leading experts.
Let's do it.
In the world of gratitude, Robert Emmons.
Yep.
So he's
what makes him the damn expert?
Now you're going to like him.
Okay.
Because he's a psychology professor.
Like him?
At the University of California. And he's basically the world's leading expert on gratitude and the author of The Little Book of Gratitude, which is probably one of the most popular books on gratitude.
Gratitude's such a big thing. And he called it a little book. I like that.
Right? Just a little book.
All
and
right,
so
Robert.
Robert proposes that gratitude has 2 critical components. Okay. First, we recognize that there are good things in the world. Various benefits. And
Come on, you can do it. And you can find one.
Right now, it's very challenging. Okay. And we recognize the gifts we are receiving. Okay, the second component, we realize that the primary sources of this goodness are often outside of ourselves, brought upon us by other people or even higher powers.
Huh. So we're
Okay,
lucky.
so it's in a way, it's like goodness bestowed upon us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just sitting there, proud of the life that we've created. Right, that's pride. That's something kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like,
Well, pride, I would think, comes from earning the stuff. And then
Yep.
the extension of that
Yep.
is I'm grateful for what I have. So there's an appreciation all around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, he just emphasized the idea that it's kind of goodness outside of yourself.
Okay. So
Yeah.
start doing that. Recognize.
I just think, we go so fast in life. Of course, maybe not so much in the pandemic, but, just to slow down and I don't know. Remember what they say, stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
It's funny because have you noticed that the roses have lost a little of their scent?
Oh, see, I don't stop and smell them.
I do. And
Do
I'm
you?
always like, why doesn't this smell like anything? That's not a symptom of COVID.
Hold on. You need to go right now and get tested. You know what? I actually,
This rose doesn't smell like anything.
I like the smell of a lot of other things more than roses, though.
What do you like the smell of?
Baking.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think during the pandemic we baked because it made us feel good because it smelled good?
I think that's one of the reasons, I bet you.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that it was a way to, in a way, busy yourself and meditate and occupy yourself and feel.
Like puzzles.
Yeah, I think in a way it was just a very soothing activity for people.
Uh-huh.
That's what they say. I don't bake.
No.
So, I mean, there was a lot of sourdough starters around me. I kind of felt surrounded
Did
at
people
times.
bring you their sourdough?
No, my partner was into the sourdough starters.
Oh, okay,
and
so you were grateful for that.
I guess. I mean, I don't like eating bread too much. I mean, that's a
That's bad news.
that
Bad
le-
news bread.
that leads to more self-loathing. No, but no, like, yeah. I mean, it was anyway. I'm just glad that phase is over.
Would you say, I mean, let's talk about, I know you're on to experts and we'll come back, but we are on to the pandemic. So let's just address the gratitude before the pandemic and maybe the gratitude during, and we're certainly not through it yet, but how has it sort of changed your outlook? What have you noticed?
Okay, well, I guess since the pandemic started, I've realized that I have been taking things for granted. I think that was probably what I was just smacked with right away. Basically everything, just taking everything for granted, like waltzing into a store whenever you damn well felt like it, right? No lineups. Well, buying toilet paper any old time you needed
Well, just
it.
the fact that there is toilet paper,
Yeah,
and to
like-
be like, geez, somebody actually came. Like, I don't have to use a leaf. That's like, I'm grateful for that.
I know there were
Towels. Where would we be without a towel once you get out of the bath or the shower?
Yeah, just
Good one.
Yeah. Seeing my parents anytime I want, right? I took that for granted. Now
A
it's
lot
trickier.
of people not being able to see their loved ones.
Going to the gym, right? That's touch and go now. Some days you can go in, some days you
Some sort of
can't.
germ fest, I guess.
Performing on stage. Wow. Never really did take stock of that one.
Right. Although you always, I feel like you respected stage time. Like you know, some people use stage time and it's like, you know what? You don't even understand how lucky you are to have that floor. So, I mean, I do think that you had a respect for it, but maybe just not to the depth of like, wow, I get to do that.
I was always grateful that people came to watch.
So grateful for them.
But I don't think I ever thought that this wasn't going to be available, right? I'm not like, wow, this is so cool that I'm standing on this stage, in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
Now, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Being in an audience. I miss, took that one for granted. Traveling and coughing and sneezing freely in public.
Right.
Because now I'm holding in my sneezes.
Good.
And that hurts.
Well,
That's uncomfortable.
well, sorry for your discomfort, but
Like, have you caught yourself coughing or sneezing in public?
I just
in the
don't do it
pandemic?
at all anymore.
Like, I'll run. I will start running if I have to cough.
I'm actually going to self-combust because I don't like burp, cough, sneeze, or fart anymore. Everything's just like, it's got to stay inside, guys. You're allowed to laugh. You just backed off the mic like you shouldn't laugh.
Well, I didn't want any droplets firing on over there at you. No, So I would say I've realized, wow, I just need to kind of appreciate the freedom.
Yeah.
Next time.
I think that what the pandemic did or is doing, has done, is really gave a lot of people time to reflect. And in that time, because I did hear that from a lot of people, in that time, it's hard to have things slow down without some sort of, just that reflection, that consideration of things, which is also why, like, I think in some ways it would be great for kids to have, maybe been the dial turned down a little bit and like sit and daydream, because that's where great thoughts and ideas and inventions come from, and we're going to need those. But yeah, I think just that time, that slowing down really allowed for that kind of thinking.
Yeah, I think many people got very introspective about life. I think a lot of, maybe, about themselves, but I think a lot of people really took a step back and realized the kind of life they were leading, the lifestyle they had, how busy they truly were, how fast they were running to meetings and whatever else, I think we really took a look at our pace of life and went, oh my God.
Cray.
It's not that we want to sit at home every day, but I don't know if I want to go back to that.
Yeah, well, that's
pace.
just it, though, the hedonic adaptation.
Right.
When things pick up,
Yep.
like fully pick up, how long does it take before we're sort of just, back in the thing? Like when I've talked about my travel time, that walkabout, I think it's relevant just, to certain things that regarding self-help and stuff we talk about. But I do remember at some point with things being very quiet for me and freedom to just do whatever I wanted and not be in, let's say, the rat race. I remember having this feeling of like, what is wrong with us? What are we doing to ourselves? It's absolute insanity. And I was like, so sure that our world, our society was bonkers. And,
Over here in North America.
in North America. And I came back and it was difficult. And, and now I'm
right. You
I'm
got
back
used
in the
to
hustle,
it.
Right?
I've had that same response going to Europe. I'm like, wow, look at all the downtime. Look at the time they spend with their children. Look at them just sitting in the piazza. Is that a piazza? Piazza.
Sure.
Plaza.
Plaza.
Piazza.
Piazza.
But yeah, like, I don't know. It looked like a beautiful, simpler, slower pace of life.
I mean, I was living it, but I didn't have to make a living at the time, right?
Yeah.
So it was very easy for me for an extended period of time to get used to it being my normal. And that really, sort of set in the contrast between what I was doing and what I had been living.
Yeah. So in a way,
but it did go back.
This pandemic has been that kind of reset for all of us, where it's like, okay, so that reality's gone. And now you realize, oh my God, about that reality and going on like.
Right. But the reality of this is things have slowed, things are shut down, but I still need to make a living. How am I going to do that? Like that can create a tremendous amount of stress. So to have this time of, let's say I would think many cases, elevated stress, to add the practice of gratitude would be more important than ever.
Oh yeah, because I think we can get very caught up in focusing on all that we've lost, right? We've lost a lot, like travel, concerts, theater, festivals, parties, all the things, and income, jobs, all that kind of thing. And
I just want a dance night out.
Sure,
you
just want to go
a
out.
sweaty dance floor.
You just want to go out and have a time.
Yep.
And so this pandemic has been life-giving us some kind of opportunity to savor the simple little things in life.
Yeah, for now, because we'll fuck it up. Did I just say that? That's. Let's take a moment.
But I think you're right. It's going to take a lot of mindfulness.
Yeah.
To continue what we're doing.
And that's going to happen collectively. And what are the odds?
Going to have to get on Facebook and do a post. But, I would say
I want to be on the side of feeling good. I want to be on the side of joy. I want to be on the side of feeling abundant in my life. That's a choice.
I have to say that some things that I have really appreciated and been grateful for during this pandemic has been like our nice weather here in Southern Ontario. We had a nice spring.
And what a wicked
summer, and we've had a beautiful fall.
Oh
Can you imagine if the weather was shit and we were dealing with all of this.
Winter is coming.
No, for sure. You know
Why
what?
am I all of a sudden
It's
doom
fine.
and gloom over here?
But I got to tell you, it's been a little win. When you say,
Yeah. See what happens though? Do you see how all of a sudden that's life, man. Just, in case you noticed, I was like nature and everything's amazing. And then I was like, and winter is coming.
it's taken a
and
turn.
Everything's going to be
It's taken a
fucked.
turn.
So, yeah.
But yeah, like, hey, thank God we have the internet. Can you imagine not having the ability to Zoom or stream
Right.
television shows and movies? Can you imagine if we just had basic cable during this whole thing?
You kind of like stuttered.
I
Like you had
did.
like a twitch when you said, can you imagine?
Basic cable.
Although Netflix seems to be running out of programming. Sorry, Netflix. Maybe
that-
they're back on it. I
I
don't
think
know.
that might be inevitable, at one point, because like most people in the business know that it has not been business as usual for the last 7 months.
No,
So
it has not.
I
But
figure at one
I'm
point,
just not focusing on that right now.
no,
No.
you're grateful for our podcast. You know what? That's something I've been very grateful for during this pandemic. This is a chance to, have a show, perform in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put out art because it's not been easy.
Yeah.
For us types.
No.
So thank God.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for everybody. Do you think vision boards will come back this winter? Do you think, people will just like,
Start putting photos of Hawaii and
yeah,
Thailand and Mexico. Yeah.
everybody, let's vision board our hearts out. Let's manifest the best outcomes and
It's worth a try.
social
Fanson.
gatherings.
Okay, so as we've been talking a little bit about savoring the little things throughout this pandemic, I will mention another favorite book of mine when it comes to gratitude, and that is Neil Pasricha's book called The Book of Awesome. I highly recommend this book. This would probably be my favorite when it comes to gratitude. It's based on a blog that he started several years ago as an attempt to find his way out of the rabbit hole after his wife left him. And one of his close friends committed suicide. Okay, so there he was. Yep, dark days of the soul. So every day he would, write a blog post. He'd write about a small thing in life that we universally savor. So some of them that are in the
Like
book,
sunsets.
snow days, like when you don't have to go to school. Snow days, not snowy days. Well, snowy
Sometimes.
days are fine
Snow's
too.
pretty.
Bakery air. I was talking about baking before. Finding money in your pocket. I mean, that's a pretty awesome thing, hey?
I love that one.
Yeah. So this blog won a huge blog award, and then he got a book deal. So yeah, it's a book about noticing that not everything in your life sucks when it seems like everything in your life sucks. So what would be on your list of awesome? Is there anything that is there like little things in life that you just totally love? Like just the littlest things that you find awesome. Like I love the very first cup of coffee in the morning. The second one just isn't as good.
Is that hedonic adaptation? Is that first bite of cake?
See, you mentioned that. I love fresh bed sheets.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
the
sleep
feeling.
better. You just sleep better.
Brand new socks.
I thought you were going to say bran.
Brand, a nice bran
We all
muffin.
need a little bran.
Brand new socks. I don't know.
Because you know what
There's-
bran leads to. You'd be grateful for that too.
Sure. Well, have you ever been bunged up? I tell you. No? Hey, just me? All right. The cold side of the pillow.
Ooh.
You know when you flip the pillow in
Yeah.
the middle of the night and then it's
Yeah.
like,
Fresh.
I don't know why we like it to be colder, but that's a kind of an awesome thing.
Yeah. It's just fresh. It's refreshing.
And what about those months when it's light in the morning? Between, I don't know what it is, like April and September.
Uh-huh.
Like when it's bright by 5:30 or 6 a.m. I personally find that awesome.
Hey, in cancel culture, are we actually canceling daylight savings? I did hear that.
Okay, that's a
happening,
rumor.
isn't it? Oh, it's a rumor.
Like that's, yes,
it's
I've
more
heard.
than a rumor.
Is it more?
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I mean, I
Yeah,
think it's a very silly tradition that we're still doing it.
Yeah, I
It was for
know.
farming.
Come on.
Not that there's not farming
But
going
are the
on,
farmers
but
like, how will we do it without
No,
it?
I think
Have we
they've-
polled the farmers?
I think they've thought around it now. I think there's
figured it
technology.
out.
I think, yeah, that's not something they're, leaning on for their survival.
Right.
It is funny that we still do it here in Ontario. They don't do it in Saskatchewan.
Maybe it becomes part of the this is just what we do, guys, right? Remember, is it spring forward or fall back? Oh, that's funny. It's fall back because it's fall. Like all those things where we just enjoy the silliness of it all.
I'm definitely grateful for the fallback because you get the extra hour. Now, it totally fucks you up for about a week, though.
Oh,
it totally messes with your system. It's only 1 hour.
It's 1 hour.
How are we jet lagged
From 1 hour.
for the 1 hour? How do we travel? I don't know. Anyway, that's a thing.
Do you think if you start talking about being blessed and you start acting like you're blessed, that your blessings will be activated? Is it that simple?
Like, are you kind of speaking that you will attract more blessings into your life?
This plus this equals that.
I think.
Talk like you're blessed. Act like you're blessed. There you go. Here it comes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of positive energy, high vibrational energy you're putting out in terms of that focus. So yeah, I think you're going, like energy attracts like energy. So yeah, I think that's going to bode well for your future.
Act like you're blessed? Or let's say, how do you act like you're grateful?
Act like it.
Yeah. Like, is it the demonstration of it, the expression of it? Is it doing for others? Like, what is it that you would do beyond just like, how we talk about manifesting? You can't just sit around and dream this stuff and it happens. You do have to do something. So you talk about your blessings. You talk about the things you're grateful for. You act like you live in that grateful way. So how do you do that? Is that prayer? Is that expressing it to others? All that kind of stuff. And then therefore, things will start showing up or you'll just feel better.
Yeah, I think expressing it to others is a big part of it. Mm-hmm. I think it's being very conscious to not get into that mindset of I don't have enough. Like it's almost like an absence of that stress. If you can kind of stay out of that mindset more, I think that's going to help you, attract more into your life. So, just being of that mindset. I've got enough. There's more than enough for everybody. And I think that does help in your vibrations. I think this is all about vibrational energy. I don't know, don't complain. No, I think it's an absence of things. Just kind of minimize the complaining, the comparison, that story, the storytelling of, I don't have it. I don't have enough.
Mm-hmm. A quarter inch to half an inch slice of Manchego cheese.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad you thought of one.
Yeah. Manchego.
Yeah.
Manchego.
I think we can agree that Mexican food is awesome.
And that.
God, I miss.
Like a good guac.
I miss Mexico.
A Clarenbridge oyster. A Galway flat oyster.
Oh, see?
A great Aperol
now you're on the
spritz,
train.
A nice, crisp, cold white wine. A really juicy red.
There you go. Look, you've opened the floodgates. My buddy Joey on the weekend said the funniest thing. He was going on that had this rant about how he loves fall because you can crack a window. He's like, I just love when you can crack a window and get the fresh
just
air.
Let
and
that little breeze.
I thought, well, there you go, Joey. You're got a little book of awesome going there.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
I mean, there are so many things that are enjoyable, that are lovely, that are just, in them like all the time, I would say. Like there's times you take something for granted and then there's times you go, geez, I really love this. Like, I don't know if it's like all the time, but things pop up and you're like, oh yeah. Like I just got hit with that.
Yeah.
I just got that's good. Whether it's like the hug from somebody or like a good feeling from something or just sometimes just looking at my children, I'm just like, wowzers.
Because God knows things could be better, right? Like, and I know that like there are so many hard things about life right now. Just leave your head spinning.
Or always. There's always going to be tough stuff or tricky things or challenges, all that stuff.
I'm a big believer that for all the, the adversity, there's also just so much beauty and so much good.
Yeah, just look around, find it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it really is a constant awareness, a point of taking it in and focus, right? It's our freedom of choice.
I'm just speaking for a lot of people when they're like, okay, now I'm exhausted, Susan. Do you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
just that moment where it's just like, it's an active practice. It's all the time. It's like, okay, I'm tired. I'm sorry. Like I can't. But the thing is, really, I think more so you might get into some negative thinking just to be able to catch it and go, oh, hold on a sec. Maybe I'll just glom onto another thought. One that's like, just a simple pleasure.
Yeah, I think, that freedom of choice we were born with, we're always free to choose what we're going to focus on. So you just kind of catch yourself maybe dwelling, in the sewage there of the mind. Yeah. And you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to just shift away from that. And I don't know. Yeah. Just kind of take in
practice.
Just what's working in your life. I know we can.
What if my answer is nothing? Okay. Nothing.
And I call bullshit.
Then
right.
Yeah. But like what happens though, when you feel like that and you're like, nothing. Thank you.
Well, then you are going to sit down and make a list for me.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe
I just hear those. I hear those voices. I hear those people that are like, you know what? How about what if nothing is actually going great? What if everything's a mess? What if I'm in real trouble? Like, I don't know. Like, what then? How do you say to somebody like that? Look, just think of a good thing.
I don't know. Yeah. And I mean, Neil Pasricha can probably tell you that his life seemed pretty, terrible at that point. And, he did that amount of work to just kind of dig deep and find the smallest little thing
like
that
maybe
made his
it's
day.
Just one little thing.
Yeah.
And then maybe you just do that again. And the practice of that is scientifically proven to get you there.
Yeah, it's like building muscle. Just like as they talk about practicing being in the present moment. If we practice appreciating the smaller things in life, we actually end up doing it more often, much like if we practice being in the present moment. So yeah, again, we're just managing our brain's tendency to, drift and focus on lack and focus on the negative. So yeah, you just kind of like try. I mean, God knows we're not doing it all the time. We're not nailing it, but it's just so nice to know that we have that freedom of choice and we can choose again.
Good sex. You just said nailing it. And I was like, there's something like, how about that?
How about it? I have a few gratitude tips.
No, on that note, let's just keep moving on.
I just think, at this point, maybe a listener would be like, all right, well, like, kind of what does this look like if we're going to dig deep some days?
Uh-huh.
So,
I have gratitude quizzes here.
Oh yeah, you've got the quiz.
Gratitude journal prompts.
Okay.
I have like a few things, 2 ways to practice gratitude with your children.
Okay,
just
that's cool.
Like little how-tos, little help-me's.
All right, so we're going to, help now.
You know what? Like my body, I appreciate my ability to move, to lift heavy objects. Like I love my strong body.
Yeah. I think as we age, we must savor our mobility and our strength.
The times when it is strong versus the times when I'm like, oh, it's rough getting out of bed this morning.
Yeah. No, I mean, fair to say that we women tend to get down on ourselves and beat ourselves up for our bodies.
Maybe how we look. But if you think about like how it functions, your liver, your kidneys, things are working all the time.
Like it serves you every day, even when you treat it like shit.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I think that's something to be grateful for.
I think so. Anyway, every once in a while, something just randomly is popping into my head. So I'm just going to do my grateful blurts.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, so I will share these 3 tips and then I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay.
So this is from happify.com. So they say your first tip, set yourself up for success. So if you tend to be exhausted, as you were pointing out, people might be tired. If you tend to be exhausted at night, accept that it might not be the best time to focus for a few minutes at that point and schedule your gratitude in the morning instead or some other time. The second tip, mix it up. If you're bored with making lists in a journal every day, write letters. send emails, text to people, start that gratitude jar, or do social media posts.
Okay.
Just to annoy you. I don't. Anyway. And the other one is, and I thought this was the best tip, be specific as possible. So people might be like, oh, I'm grateful for my family.
Right.
And what they're saying is, okay, can you actually be more specific than that?
Like a quarter to a half-inch slice of manchego cheese.
You nailed that.
Like that, maybe?
So you say, like, today my partner gave me a shoulder rub when I was really stressed, or my sister invited me over for dinner, so I didn't have to cook after a long day. So kind of get a little bit more specific into the situation that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Get in there. Yeah.
Nice.
We'll include that link in the description as well.
This might help in addition to what you just said.
Alrighty.
So some questions to help you count your blessings. So in case you're sitting there kind of going like, I don't know, how do I find gratitude? Like what?
Yeah.
What? So things like, who was kind to you today?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Did like, I don't know, somebody in traffic let you in?
Yeah.
And in Toronto, that's special.
That's special. Who did you help?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you might be like, I didn't help anybody. See, I suck.
Oh, the shame spiral.
There we go. So that didn't help. What simple thing made today a good day? So yes, finding that simple thing. What did you learn today? So considering something new that you have discovered.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because we forget that every day brings some sort of either lesson or information, and it's available everywhere in your child and in, on TV. Like it comes at you from all directions.
That is a very good tip, because we tend to think, what am I grateful for? And like, what did I kind of just receive and some kind of advantage? But that is to be included.
How about this?
Yeah.
I find this one interesting. Who made you smile today? Who did you smile for? Either of those, because when you think about like, hey, who smiled at you today? If a smile makes you feel good, it kind of also results in you going, did I smile at anybody today?
Right.
And isn't it odd how when you're walking down the street, smiling at somebody seems like a really weird thing to do?
Well, here in Toronto, they just look at you.
Yeah.
Like you're bonkers.
People have smiled at me and I'm like, what do you want?
Yeah.
But it's like, then they pass me and I'm like, oh, that wasn't threatening. They were just being nice. And I'm like, that's a nice person. I suck. I left them with nothing.
But it's worth the pursuit though, because we have these mirror neurons in our heads, in our brains that lead us to copy what we observe.
Right.
And so 85% of people will smile back. And so you will get that exchange.
Do you remember that it was a video? I don't know if it was like a gratitude video, if it was like a behavioral gratitude video. Let me explain. It showed how an act of generosity or kindness was contagious to the next person. And so they followed, sort of the course of these people through this video and how they if they received something kind, whether it was a gesture or someone gave them a seat on the bus or whatever, and then they would go and do something nice for someone else. And it, wasn't like it wasn't a forced thing. It was just like, it's contagious. It will, and that's a good thing to be contagious.
Yeah. So we have basically an instinct to pay it forward.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, then I shall continue on.
Yeah. Like quite literally, if it's done to you, you're more apt to do something kind. And so start somewhere. Why not start with you?
It is amazing that we don't interact with people more. Hey,
because they're scary.
We don't make eye contact. We don't smile.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen if I smile? What's going to happen if I make eye contact? Is that person going to then approach me? Do I have to have a conversation? Who knows, right?
When I go to the grocery store, just as a fun little game, I always look them in the eyes and go, "Hey, how's it going?"
Oh,
and their face just lights up. They cannot fucking believe
I
just talk to them like
a
human being. Yeah, I just do it for fun because I know it just blows their minds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so I just think we need more humanity now more than ever in these unprecedented times.
So if it's real tough, like what's your favorite taste, smell, touch, sight, or sound from the day, from this moment? Like you have your senses with you all the time.
Good
so
point.
If you did a diagnostic on your senses, okay, wait a second. If I just sit here and go taste, smell, sight, whatever, you might be like, oh, that feels good. Like something might feel good or smell good or something might be beautiful right in front of you. And just activating the thoughts of your senses might glom you onto something.
I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really getting into like really nice, like really small moments.
Who loves you? Who do you love? No one. Forget about it.
Right, the love in your life.
The love in your life. I mean, maybe that one is just sort of like maybe that one's like, what's that word, that thing where you become like desensitized to that, where it's like, oh yeah, I know my mom loves me, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, wow, my mom loves me more than she
Yeah.
loves anything.
Yeah.
Like, wow, lucky you.
Huh? Yeah. I worked out in the park this summer with a bunch of girlfriends, and that kind of community, that love between us, that helped a lot. And
Yeah.
like I have savored that. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
exchanges,
anyway.
those like meaningful,
Yeah.
like, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be with you.
Yep.
Yeah. To be
stuff.
very much in the presence of that.
Yeah.
Right. And we can all do that all the time. It just, believe it or not, it's hard. It almost hurts. Like some people have an experience of pain
Yeah.
that's not real, but they
Yeah.
have an experience of pain when they consider extending themselves. Going from this state to an extended state. It's actually like, it's a barrier.
Wow.
It's so fascinating. So gratitude quiz, true or false? Gratitude comes from looking at how much better off you are than others.
No, I don't think that's like comparison. That's
Good
not,
answer.
Okay.
You have to be grateful all the time to alter negative neural pathways.
Okay, I'm going to hope that's false.
I think that's false.
That seems like a lot.
It's false. You can't do it all the time. You just have to be in a practice of just that wiring, just like to get in there and be like, well,
Yeah.
we're just going to.
Yeah, that one gave me anxiety. Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure. You're fine. Keeping a gratitude journal will decrease depression and make you more optimistic in general.
Yeah, science says yes.
Sadly, you got to do the work.
Oprah was right the whole time.
Oh, bruh. Being grateful can help you have fewer bodily aches and pains.
That is correct.
It is.
Yep.
How do you know that?
From that article with the
Yep.
31 benefits.
And
I couldn't believe it.
Brene talks about that
Yes.
too,
Yep.
because I know her name had to come up.
Yeah.
Grateful people are just as materialistic as ungrateful people.
Sorry, grateful.
People
Yeah.
are just as materialistic as ungrateful people.
No, in my research, I found that gratitude reduces your materialism.
Bam.
Bing, 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 bing.
Bing, bing, bing.
Pern, pern. I don't. Okay.
Gratitude helps you sleep better and longer.
Yes. Yes. That's another benefit.
So many benefits. Gratitude is a great motivation for obeying God.
Oh,
That's it.
God,
That just like came out of left field.
I was actually kind of drifting off a little bit, just like looking
Just
at
thought
something
I'd
in the
wake
room.
you
And
up for
then
a
I was
sec.
like, dear, what happened there to that quiz?
So maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, whatever. He's fine. It doesn't matter what we are grateful for as long as we give that thanks, our brains will benefit.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Be grateful for anything.
Yeah. The best antidote against a sarcastic or crude tongue is gratitude. That's crap. That's crap. I mean, sarcasm, how do you live without sarcasm?
Well, I have no idea.
Really?
Believe me.
Me neither.
So what, you can't? No, that's not
This quiz
right.
is whacked. It isn't
different.
important who or what you thank as long as you practice gratitude. I think if you're thanking Charles Manson or Ted Bundy,
Or Donald Trump.
you know what? Maybe not. Maybe it does matter who or what.
I know, I hate to judge,
Let's not
but
worship Satan, people.
I hate to judge, but
Yeah, just judge. It's okay.
yeah, no, you got a little problem there.
Anyway, so
where did you
sometimes-
find all that? Is
sometimes you
that-
got to proof your
is that a-
quizzes before you.
Note to self: read the quiz before bringing it on the show.
Like,
Whatever.
here's-
Hey, look, you learned something today.
I totally did.
You're going to be so grateful for that lesson.
Proof your quizzes.
Oh gosh. Well,
Anyway, so there you
anyway.
go. That's something.
Well, have we covered the gamut? I mean,
I don't know. What did we come in here doing? We were like, gratitude. Oh, did we have a thesis? Were we like, it only exists if you express it? Because that we cleared right out of the gate. We were like, of course it exists.
Oh, sure.
You don't need to express it. It's just it amplifies it, perhaps.
I think science is saying that if you get into more of that routine, let's just call it a routine of expressing it in some way, or really being mindful and savoring things, I think it being a regular habit in your life, you then get those 31 benefits. Like, I think it's an amazing gateway to more contentment and happiness in our lives.
And just on the topic of self-help, which is what we do. And yes, everything you just said, yes. On the topic of self-help, which we do try to focus on here, and anti-self-help, you don't just get gratitude from, like, learn how to express gratitude through books. Like, it's present everywhere. Like, let's just remember that. Like, you can get it from music, from songs, from movies.
Oh, sure.
You know, like...
Yep. The messages are bountiful.
Yeah.
Abundant.
Yeah.
I think a book, the Book of Awesome, or the Little Book of Gratitude, also Brene Brown's Daring Greatly. These are books that just simply remind us of how powerful it is in our lives, the impact it can have on our mental health, our of course, our well-being, and of course the many other things that were mentioned in that article. But I think it's just a nudge to go, hey, like, are you aware? Can you cultivate this awareness?
And look, I think, maybe it's tough to practice gratitude by yourself. Maybe that's what holds you back. But what if you chose to practice gratitude with your family or with your partner? Like, what if you said, you know what I'd like to do is just have a moment in our day where we thank each other, or we share some gratitude we have about something together. So it's more of a group effort, like maybe it keeps everyone in check. Maybe it keeps you in check, and it keeps you in the practice of it. And you give that gift to somebody else in your life, where you strengthen your relationship with that person or those people by engaging in that positive, gratefulness together.
Yeah, I think
that might sound ridiculous, but I think it would be a beautiful thing for people to do.
Science suggests that is a worthy endeavor. I think that's a great conversation to have, because we can so easily sit around and bitch and complain. Yeah. I mean, go for it, but maybe we then balance it out with, okay, let's talk about what's working and what wins happened today. What did you learn? Yeah. Who smiled at you?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And if you observe, your own relationship or relationships, and you start to notice, like, wow, we spend a lot of time complaining to each other about stuff, or complaining about each other even, that might be an indication that there's a little room for some thank yous between you, or whatever,
offense. And
try that. And your partner might say, you know what, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that. So you gotta figure that out.
I think there's a lot of room.
What would you say to your partner if you were like, you know what, I want us to practice. I just want us to sit and have like 30 seconds of like, I love that, or thank you for that, or I'm so thankful that we have this house, this family, or whatever it is, right? And what if your partner was like, I don't want to do that, it's stupid.
Yeah,
what words could you give somebody to help them convince their partner to do that, or their family?
I think I would just, pass that link along with the 31 benefits. I mean, honestly, I remember the time when I read an article about the 100 benefits of drinking water, and that increased my water intake. I think once you realize the role it can play in your life, I think you go, okay, let's give it a shot.
Start just sending them Instagram, messages and emails and stuff, and Facebook posts about, gratitude and the benefits of it. Brene Brown's short video on
she's got some great
gratitude.
Yeah, she's got some great videos on YouTube. But maybe it's contagious, like generosity. Yeah. Maybe if you just start kind of talking about it.
Yeah.
Noticing it. Yeah. I don't know. I think it could be inspiring.
Hey.
Yes.
I want to stop and thank you, baby. Who's that?
I want to stop and thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Who sang that?
I can tell you. How Sweet It Is by James Taylor.
Oh, that's a great song.
Huh?
See, there it is. Yeah. Are there any other songs about gratitude?
There are so many.
Oh, I Just Called to Say I Love You. He rhymes off a lot of things about what he loves, like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, just playing along, trying to think of something else.
I'm totally down with the thankful songs, the thank you songs. Thank you for being a friend.
Oh my God. The Golden Girls theme.
Yeah.
I won't sing it.
No, I was going to quote it, actually.
Oh, it's a good one.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your
Heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw
I'm not
a
ashamed to
party-
say, I hope it will always stay this way. My hat is off. Won't you stand up and take a bow? That's a verse in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then
no,
the
it's-
whole if you threw a party thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of went on that because
We all
that's
want
in
a
the
party.
theme. But yeah, no, it's a good song. All right.
Okay. You
Well-
know what that means.
Since we're getting into quoting things,
There's a game we need to play.
it's time to play that game that I'm always grateful to be done with. It's time to play
Name That Guru.
Yes, this is when we read 3 self-help quotes to each other and we try to identify who the hell said it.
All righty.
All right, Fanson.
Here's that awkward moment.
Exactly. Who's going to go first? It's so funny. Anyway,
Who is
who's
going to
gonna
go first?
Honest to God. All right. I'll go. All right.
Okay.
Practicing gratitude is how we acknowledge that there's enough and that we're enough.
Brené Brown.
You got it.
It's almost the way you said it.
Oh, I think it's the enough.
You were like doing her a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
I just
getting.
need bigger earrings.
Yeah. I watched her video on gratitude because I
Mm-hmm.
kept confusing one episode with another. Anyway, details, guys. But her necklace in this one, it's like it's either the big earrings or it stands out
Yeah.
for some reason. It's like the jewelry is wearing Brené.
I just love everything about her.
Okay.
I mean, they're big.
You do.
I do. Well, you like her too.
I like her. Doesn't mean I gotta like her jewelry.
I mean, yeah. Have you?
I'll go.
You really ought to see what she wears in her very first TED talk.
Oh, the muumuu?
The fully
Yeah.
like all brown,
Oh,
big brown
that
shirt
one.
with brown pants.
Yes, but there's another one where she wears this like light blue kind of muumuu thing with like snow pants underneath or something.
Oh, we love her.
Anyway, judgy. Okay.
A little bit.
So thank you, India. Thank you, terror.
Oh my God, Alanis Morissette.
Thank you, disillusionment. Thank you, frailty. Thank you, consequence. Thank you, silence.
God, I love that song.
Pretty great song.
Alanis Morissette.
You know she was writing that when she was like, probably cross-legged in an ishram or something.
Yeah, I think actually that was written after she had gone
Yeah.
to India and
Yeah.
had a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, she had
All
some
right.
healing to do. And then she was grateful for it.
All right, here's my next one. Abundance isn't something you acquire, it's something you notice.
Pass the salt? Pass richa?
No, it's not Neil. This is a classic.
Oh.
It's a man.
You say it like I should know the classics. You remember I'm the one who hasn't read the books, right?
Right.
Okay.
No, but this guy, I mean, he's
Wayne
kind of
Dyer.
yeah.
Thank you.
I know. I
Gosh,
always just
look
try.
at me.
Yeah.
I'm 2 for 2.
Wow.
Wow. That's a record.
batting 1,000.
Okay, here we go. Okay, hold on.
Okay. Me and the listeners right now are on the edges of our seats. Or did you? Do you have a song left here on the
I have
list?
something. Okay. Ready? Did I ever tell you you're my hero? And everything I wished I could be.
I mean, Bette
I
Midler
could
sang
fly
it.
higher than an eagle. You are the
Wind
wind beneath my wings.
I loved Beaches.
Oh my gosh, such a good movie.
I don't watch many movies over again. I'm not a movie fan that way, but I have seen Beaches
I wept
many times.
Wept. Like
Yeah.
wept.
Yeah. Wailed.
Wailed.
Yeah.
Is that a chick flick? Is
Oh,
that one of those like
I think-
where people are like, you know what, a guy just wouldn't, I don't know.
Oh, I would say one of quintessential chick flicks. In
Bette
fact, I
Midler
wonder
with
if
all of her dating, her doctor and her, like, I loved it. She was like all of a sudden with this doctor guy and now being the doctor's wife or whatever. Oh, she's so funny.
I don't know if a man has ever seen Beaches.
Oh, maybe not.
That's what we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, my last one. Life is so great that we only get a tiny moment to enjoy everything we see. And that moment is right now. And that moment is counting down. And that moment is always, always fleeting. You will never be as young as you are right now.
I feel a little sad. That made me sad.
I know. Well, it's little
Don't bring me
like
down,
little wake up
man.
call, hey?
Did I need it?
Isn't it funny that we don't live like we're dying? Like we really don't.
No,
We don't.
we don't.
It's just, I don't know,
Because
astonishing.
we probably die.
That's true. I mean, it's important not to, cram in everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just interesting that we don't savor more because it is fleeting. Like we do sometimes live like we're just going to be here.
We do. Yeah. Yeah. Keep this train a rolling. I don't know.
Anyway, that's a big topic.
I sometimes look at people who are, on massive adventures.
Yeah.
I mean, like riding bikes on cliffs and shooting themselves off of those same cliffs with bat wing suits and, that sort of stuff. And I'm like, are they really living? Like, how boring is my life when these people are like just demonstrating the most the most fantastical human achievements in some ways. And then I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have an answer for them.
I was concerned that you were comparing yourself, but then
I was in a way,
Okay.
a little bit. Like, I don't want to do that, but I sometimes wonder, am I falling, like, why aren't I a spy? Like a cat burglar or a spy?
I have a few reasons why it's important that you're not a spy, but anyway, so the author of this quote is the guy that you thought was the author of the
Pass the salt.
That's right.
Pasricha.
Neil Pasricha from the Book of Awesome.
Okay. All right. One more.
Okay.
I see trees of green, red roses too. They're really saying, I love
you.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Oh, I love that song.
Isn't that great?
Now, who the hell sang it? Who sang that song?
Everyone listening is
Yeah.
like, come on, Susan.
God, I'm blanking.
Okay.
Who is it? Louis Armstrong.
There we go.
I could see him and I'm like, what the hell was his name?
Yeah. Sometimes I do that with people like friends. Sometimes I'll look at a friend, I'll be like,
I don't know what your name is right now.
Just totally like, yeah.
And that's harrowing.
That's a weird feeling.
And then you think,
when you're
uh-oh.
like, I'm looking right at you. And
Early onset.
Yeah.
I'm in my 40s. It could be happening.
Speak for yourself. Anyway.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in and listening to our episode on gratitude. We hope you...
Thank you, Podplant. Thank you, Monkey Junk, for our song. Thank you, our sponsor. You're about to hear that anyway.
Yeah,
Is there anyone else you want to thank today?
It's just important, I think, to say it today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think gratitude blurts are actually a thing. Remember I said I'm just going to like gratitude blurt?
Yeah, blurt.
What if we all just like gratitude blurted? Like in a moment, you're like, oh, I love this. I'm grateful. Like that would be weird, eh?
Well,
It was
again,
like gratitude Tourette's or something.
it would be far more refreshing than the complaining that we seem to do
Yeah.
millions of times
We
a day.
do
Anyway.
so effortlessly.
So yes, we do thank you so much for tuning in today, and we would be very grateful if you told everyone to listen to our show.
Share, subscribe.
Hit the bell. I
Yeah,
don't know.
word of mouth.
Sure.
The whole thing.
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in.
Because,
and
jump the gun.
It's been great to see you. Until next time,
Until next time.
you're Kelly Fanson.
And you're Susan Stewart.
And we're still a hot mess.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Purple Jade Wellness Center, for your support. Thanks also to Monkey Junk, the Juno Award-winning blues band consisting of some of the best people and musicians we know. We'd also like to thank and give a 3-minute hug, because self-help says that's more meaningful, to the Podplant and Mike Wixon.
And hey, why not subscribe or follow our show? And please, for the love of Oprah, give us a rating and review on your iPhone podcast app. And if you're into social media, you can find us on Instagram at Still a Hot Mess Podcast, and like us on Facebook at Still a Hot Mess. And thank you, Fanson.
And thank you, Susan.
You make a mess of me.